What's up YouTube, it's TCG here and welcome back to another TCG video on my channel. On this channel we talk about the Pokemon TCG every single day competitively, and today we have the results for LAIC up on the menu. We're going to be analyzing the data, see which decks had the best conversion rates, and we're going to be taking a look at the top 16 deck lists, so hopefully you guys are excited. We're going to start off with phase 1 here. So LAIC, one of the most prestigious tournaments throughout the season. There's 3 internationals in a season, and the first one kicked off over in São Paulo, the internationals here in Brazil, and we see that in phase 1 Gholdengo was the most popular deck. But is that entirely true? If you combine the results for the Gardevoirs combined, like you have the classic Guardian and the Gardevoir with Jellicent, if you combine both of those, that's going to be the second most popular deck. So yes, Gholdengo is the most popular deck in the room, and it actually has a great conversion rate as well. It has a very strong deck, allows you to draw tons of cards. You have a Lunar Cycle, coin bonus, and even flip the script on top of that, so you just draw tons of cards. You're aggressive with Soul Rock, so it makes sense. There's not a lot of decks that can compete with Gholdengo. There's like Charizard, sometimes like you do see some cornerstones popping up left and right, and if the Gholdengo doesn't have an answer, they also lose, but it's a strong deck and is the most popular one in the room. Second most popular deck is Gardevoir. It is grouped together. If you just combine both of them, you're at like, if I'm calculating correctly here, we have 7.1 and then, 14.1. So 14.1, second most popular deck, Gardevoir. As you see, the classic Guardy seems to be the preferred or the most popular out the bunch, but Jellicent also very strong. And Jellicent is the main reason that you can cheese games against Gholdengo, because if you item block them with Frillish over and over again, the Gholdengo player, if they're not playing like tech cards like Lana's 8, or if they're playing like Levincia or anything, they're actually locked out of the game, which is kind of insane. Third most popular deck is Dracapult Dusknoir, and then followed up by Absol, Mega Absol Box. And for me, this is the first time we see Mega Absol Box being so popular during phase 1 of a tournament. So a lot of people grab towards this archetype. You can play it with or without Cornerstone, or you can play it also with other ace pack card if you want to, with maybe some more Nazball. But the most popular way we see the build is like with Tord Ratcliffe winning a regional. People will be gravitating towards that list. We also see here a Charizard picture with 7.5%, and that's pretty much wraps it up. If we take a look at phase 2, so if you go to day 2, there's a lot of players out there that actually made themselves, made it to phase 2. We're going to be talking about that in a minute. But yeah, phase 2 here, we see 20% Gholdengo. Can anyone stop the coin bonuses from happening? Because that's 1 and 5th. Every 1 person out of 5 actually was playing Gholdengo in the room in phase 2. Kind of impressive. And then also Mega Absol Box gaining like a lot of percentage points right there. But now that I think about it, it is actually tied up. So Gholdengo was the most popular deck in phase 1. But in phase 2, the second most popular deck is actually Gardevoir. So if you combine like Classic Guardy and Gardevoir with Jellicent, you actually gain around 20.9%, which is the same amount. And if I'm taking a look at it exactly, so we do see here at 39 picks and 38 picks, that's the exact same percentage points that we could have. So 77 players played Gholdengo during phase 2, and 77 players actually piloted the Gardevoir archetype, whether it is actually Jellicent or the classic one. Jellicent Gardevoir had actually a better conversion rate. So we see go from 6.6 all the way to 10.6, which is kind of impressive. And the regular Guardy also gained some percentage points, but Jellicent Gardevoir was a very great pick for the event. We see Dracapult Dusknoir dropping a tiny little bit in percentage points. If we take a look at like phase 1, phase 1 here, 12.1, and we go all the way to 9.8, so down a little bit. And then Raging Bolt entering the scene here with 4.6, so also quite peculiar, because Raging Bolt, in my opinion, is not placed well enough in an event like this. So you do see that it has a tough time up against Gardevoir ever since like Dracapult is playing Neo Upper Energy. It also doesn't have the greatest show there. And we also see in this entire data, where is Ceralash? Like Ceralash was always on the graph before, but now it seems to be dropped off completely. If we take a look at the best of the rest, Charizard dropped down significantly with like 3%. Then there's also Marnie's Grimmsnarl, also a deck you typically see during phase 1 on the math, actually on the chart here, instead of like Mega Absol box. Marnie's Grimmsnarl nowhere to be seen. It is actually gone because of the bad, terrible times up against Gholdengo. Will it bounce back in the Phantasmal Flames format? Who knows? I recently played a cup with Marnie's Grimmsnarl. I think it was still an okay pick in my opinion. We also see Flareon box joining the graph, Joltik box joining the graph. So Flareon is actually pretty good because a lot of decks want to be going second. And then you can actually get your Jewel Seeker action going around. And Cerulege in phase 2, like there were still 10 players out there with Cerulege. And also Ends Zoroark. Not a lot of people played that. And only 9 of them in total in phase 2. Now let's take a look at some lists. The first one up on the menu is Pedro Pertusi's first place Gardevoir list. This is a little bit of a hybrid, so typically you would see Drifloon with a high amount of Bravery Charm in like the turbo-based Guardy builds. This is actually combining like the Frillish package, actually the 2-1 Jellicent line, and also playing Drifloon. So a very great meta call right there. There's still a Turo in there. Turo is the scenario, allowing you to, of course, pick up one of your Pokemon. Not only great to get rid of a 2-price Pokemon that you don't want on the field, like Fezandipity or Lily's Clefairy or Mew EX that you don't want anymore. You can also get rid of your Gardevoir EX while you just push energies into play beforehand, which is great. But also if you're stuck in the active with attacks like Sop, attacks like Clutch, attacks like the attack from Eaton Sudowoodo or Maractus, any like trapping capability out there, you can make sure you at least have that one Turo to bail you out. So Gardevoir winning it all, no surprise right there. Then second place, another Gardevoir, Jellicent, Sebastian Lashmet with an interesting build, piloted by more people here. This actually was the 30th place of Benjamin Hubbard from in Las Vegas, and also Joseph Holland played the exact 60. So what is happening here with the 60? Now that I think about it, I don't think I saw, there's no Technical Machine Devolution in Pedro Pertusi's list, and we do see that right here. Technical Machine Devolution can definitely help win games up against very difficult archetypes like Charizard or Marnie's Grimmsnarl. So the TM Devolution is a little bit of a debate whether you want to have it in your Gardevoir 60 or not. What else? Again, Turo in the 60, and this actually is not playing the Drifloon, but also one Arven in there, one TM Evo. 3-2-2 Guardy seems to be the norm, as we saw with Pedro Pertusi as well. Like 3-2-2 is the norm, 2 candies and an TM Evo. Then Yoshiyuki Yamaguchi from Japan, making it all the way to Japan, getting third place with a Mega Absol box. As again, Cornerstone is part of the squad. I don't know how much of a percentage like of the Gholdengo players were tagged for the Cornerstone. Maybe it's like some sort of a situation where people saying like, oh, last regional, Cornerstone did really well, so people will have all the answers, so I don't need to play the answer because people are not expecting a lot of Cornerstone. So it's going to be going that back and forth in that curve, and this time Cornerstone probably helped out a ton. Very similar 60s stuff we've seen before. We, of course, have a high amount of Boss, Penny in there as well, and only one copy of Energy Switch. But again, this is the same 60 that Tord Ratcliffe piloted at Las Vegas to win the entire event. So, nothing else to say here. It's a solid 60, but I personally am a big fan of a second copy of Energy Switch. Then Simon Trottier Lacasse from Canada, Gholdengo, and this actually is playing an answer to Cornerstone in the form of Mega Lucario. What else can we see? Double copy of Turo seems to be the norm in here. No Picnic Basket in there. It's also a little bit tough to actually find your Lucario, in my opinion. There is like that one copy of Ultra Ball, but that's it. But luckily the Arvins can fetch them, so there's like no Cypher Maniac. Just a straightforward, consistent Gholdengo list. Also piloting that Iron Bundle, and as you all know, almost all the decks out there are playing Artisan, so it's a nice include indeed. So 3 copies of Pokegear though makes this deck more consistent than ever before, definitely combining the fact that they are playing Precious Troll. If you go second, and you of course have a high amount of Pokegear, high amount of Arven, you will get into the game most of the time if your Precious Trolley is not priced. So I think that is very nice as a takeaway from this 60. Then we have Justin Templar. Dragapult, Dusknoir, so double copy of the Jamming Tower, very strong. This also was piloted by some player, actually with the same 60 that they piloted at Las Vegas, now getting into that top 8, so they must feel very proud. Also Andrew Hedrick playing the exact 60 here. What can we see is that Hilda and one research, still one research in there. Not a lot of people are actually piloting one research, but sometimes you need to dig for resources, and you do come back with 3 copies of Night Stretcher, so that makes sense. Hilda can find that new upper energy quite easily, and I think the Jamming Towers are low-key very, very powerful, but because you not only stop stuff like Air Balloon from Gholdengo players, you stop TM Evolution from stuff like Gardevoir players, and you also shut down Technical Machine Turbo Energize from Mega Absol box players, which I feel is one of the main win conditions right there. Otherwise, the matchup could be going a little bit haywire. Ilya Kornilov from Finland, all the way from Europe here, also coming back with an answer for Cornerstone in the form of Mega Lucario EX. This is not playing any Ultra Ball, but instead going for the Cypher Maniac approach. So no Pokegears in there, but with 3 Arven and 2 copies of Cypher Maniac, you should be able to, of course, have a decent setup, and one Cypher Maniac or just manually drawing into your Mega Lucario can get the job done. Also 1 copy of Iono in the 60, which you usually do not see, and it also comes back with answers for pesky Frilicious that want to item lock you. Double copy of Levincia and 2 copies of the Lightning Energy. So if you're ever getting item locked with this 60, it is going to be less painful because you can get energies back with Levincia, and you just have to wait. The opponent most likely will lead off with their Secret Box setup and Arven, and then you can try and win the Stadium War. And if the Stadium sticks, Gholdengo will be attacking for forever, because you can simply get rid of the lightning type energies right there. So that's why I find very genius indeed. Then we have Akira Kurasaki from Japan. So these Japanese players are like really busted, and most of them are actually on the Mega Absol box. This Mega Absol box is kind of unique in that sense, is that it is playing Eerie, it is playing Xerosic, and it's playing Enhanced Hammer. So Enhanced Hammer, very great up in the mirror match, because you can get rid of Mist Energy, so you can use that Terminal Period attack on the Mega Absol. Another cool thing, this also is a smaller package of Cornerstone and more disruptive with Eerie. If you're able to use Eerie up against a Gholdengo player with 13 cards in hand, you most likely will hit a superior energy retrieval, which means sometimes they cannot close out games. And also, you can actually get rid of an entire bunch of cards if you use Xerosic at the correct time. So this is a hybrid mixture of a disruptive Eerie build and a very, very small package of Cornerstone. I like this 60 a lot. In my opinion, the Lively Stadium is very strong if you win the Stadium Roar, but I'm also debating on testing out Town Store, because if you whiff Turbo Energize with this deck, it feels pretty bad. Continuing on, we have the top 16 with 9th place, Takashi Yoneda from Japan again. So a lot of players from Japan, crazy conversion rate right there. We see Marnie's Grimmsnarl, of course. This is one of my favorite archetypes this season. I actually collected around like 285 CP already with an archetype like this, and I'm very excited to see the future of Marnie's Grimmsnarl. At one point, we will get 70 HP Snorunt, so hold your horses, it is coming. This also is playing Tatsugiri. I think a lot of Japanese players are a very big fan of Tatsugiri, because they are used to piloting best of 1 formats. Instead of going for the classic Yveltal with Clutch, they went for a Maractus with the corner attack. Sometimes the residual damage of the Spiking Needle ability of the Maractus can come in handy, definitely combined with a Technical Machine and Devolution. Yeah, very solid 60, only 1 rare candy. Gets me a little bit concerned if you're not getting your Technical Machines Evolutions up and ready to go. And also coming back with Blood Moon and an additional copy of the Darkness Energies. Typically you see 8, this actually is playing 9. You want those energies on the Monkey Dories, that's what it is. Fernando Cifuentes, our previous world champion, going with Mega Absol box and a bunch of Crustles. Yo, this is the exact 60 they played at, or very similar to the 60 they played at Las Vegas, I think. This is a 2-1 line of Crustle, a couple of grass energies in there, and instead of going for the Luxurious Cape, they went for the Rigid Band instead, which is probably the better choice. And you also see a very cool looking Fighting OLED, which you don't actually see. You can only use it if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent. You can heal 60, which is actually nice to get rid of damage from something like a Soul Rock onto your Crustle or any one prize non-rule box Pokemon that is attacking your Crustle. In specific matchups, you just go, like, imagine you're up against Gholdengo, you just go, boom, you get out your Crustle, get energies onto it, thanks to the means of Tactical Machine, Turbo Energize, and then Crustle. The opponent has to deal with it, and with Rigid Band, if they don't have, like, Tool Scrapper or anything, they will, their Soul Rocks will dish out, like, 40. You have access to Monkey Dories. You see where things go horribly wrong, and a high amount of Bossasaurs also means that with Crustle you can take down threats. So yeah, we have Mega Absol box, but then fusioned together instead of with Cornerstone, a very small package of the Crustle. They did really well already, so I actually had this on my radar for this event as well. Stefan Ivanov, one of France's best players. We see here Gholdengo with Lunatone Soul Rock, and this one is playing Lana's 8. So that allows you to get at least some energies back underneath item block. It is playing Monkey Dory, which is very strong if you're up against, I would say, a Frillish that keeps on using the attack, what is it, Oceanic Gloom. You can push the damage back time and time again. I know, like, typically a Gardevoir player will win the Monkey Dory war, but that's something you could do. Also, there is only one Thorough in here, but it does come packed with Prime Catcher, and there's also Erica's Invitation, which I tested with a little bit on a live stream before, where you're able to, like, look at the opponent's hand, select the basic you find there, and drag it into the active position. Very nice to close out games if you're like, oh, maybe they have Blood Moon, maybe they have Phasmidipity, maybe they have Mew EX, Latias, any, like, 2-prize bench hitter that's playing in a lot of archetypes, you could sneak a win out of with Erica. And also very strong up against Mega Absol box. Imagine. You only need 3 more prize cards. You say, like, I'm gonna wait. The opponent takes a knockout. They take some prizes. They also use Kangaskhan. They're not playing a lot of Iono. At one point, you just wait, do the waiting game, and then bam! Erica's Invitation. You drag 3 prize Pokemon to the active position and knock it out. So I'm very big fan of an archetype like this. Definitely still having the soft one Monkey Dory line, 1 Darkness Energy, 1 Monkey Dory. So, and also the Strike It Back Gholdengo might help out against pesky Crustles. Definitely Crustles that could be kind of annoying. With Strike It Back, with Thorough, with stuff like Monkey Dory, you actually have a fighting chance. Then continuing, Daichi Shimada, again from Japan. That's like the 4th player from Japan in this top 16, so that's actually kind of crazy. That's 1 in 4, 25% of the top 16 are Japanese players. Incredible. What do we see here is Mega Absol box with double Eerie and a Frillish. So at one point, this is actually a strategy up against Gholdengo. If you're up against Gholdengo, instead of going for the Cornerstone strategy and, like, hoping they don't have an answer, this is actually just saying, like, yeah, please blow up my Mega Kangaskhan here. You can do it if you want to. Like, imagine there's a Lively Stadium, there's a Bravery Charm pushing our Kangaskhan to 380 that forces the Gholdengo player to throw away 8 energies, and that is the time to strike. You can then go for Frillish and then item block them, and if sometimes they're out of energies, you can then go Counter Catcher, Bossasaurus, use the Frillish time and time again. And then if the opponent has some answer, like maybe they have 1, I would say, Soul Rock remaining, then you can just use your Monkey Dories, Counter Catch or something else, and out of nowhere, you can win games. So how cool is that? So the Eerie Frillish as an answer to Gholdengo. Continuing on, William Azevedo from Brazil, seeing Gardevoir Jellicent. So Gardevoir Jellicent had the best conversion rate, also had the best matchup against Gholdengo, so that makes sense. We see here a 2-1 line of the Jellicent, but we also see an Espatra EX. This is very great. It's a grass-type Pokemon. Also forces the opponent to have an additional energy, which can sometimes slow the opponent down. As we see here, if it's in the active position, attacks used by your opponent's active Pokemon cost 1 card's energy more. So Mega Absol needs like 4 energies to go for this Darkness Claw and stuff like that, which is awesome. And also, as you see here, if the opponent is in the active spot, they need a card's energy more, forcing a Gholdengo to not attack because they need 2 energy. So it's kind of hilarious indeed. So we have Espatra also being a grass type, being able to hit weakness up against Charizard, being able to hit weakness up against Mari's Grimmsnarl. So you have a little bit of a soft package to help out against those pesky dark types. Also against stuff like, I would say, Zoroark, you also hit that for weakness. A very, very innovative way to be playing Gardevoir Jellicent by William Azevedo. Henry Chow, the Gardevoir legend, 14 plays with Gardevoir Jellicent. It was piloted by like the whole squad here: Aban Ahmed, Rune Hermans, of course, Jackson Ford, Aiden Cuss, and Lucas Singh. So all of these playing the exact same Jellicent Gardevoir 60. What is to say here? This is like a mixture between Turbo Guardy and having item lock capabilities, right? A 2-2 line of Jellicent EX and also 3 copies of the rare candy. So ditching the technical machine evolution entirely. So that means that they are just always want to be going first, and then second turn they can go for rare candy and instantly start pressurizing the opponent, which I feel is very, very strong. If you're up against an item lock deck, for example, a Dracopult, that could be still a little bit tricky because you only have one Curliot to work with, but all the rest seems pretty, very awesome. They were expecting a lot of Gholdengo, it seems. We have Vinny Fernandez from Brazil with Enz Zoroark. And this Zoroark is piloting the Ogie Dogie as an answer for the Cornerstone. So Cornerstone can sometimes win the Zoroark matchup completely. Also, a Mega Absol box. I actually got obliterated by a Mega Absol box. I think it was in Gdansk. Very awesome to see that in the Zoroark deck. Very awesome to get it off as well. You come back with Janine's Secret Art, and you also come back with Energy Switch, which helps out the case. With Heroescape, you can turn your Zoroark into a 380 HP monstrosity, or you can turn your Absol into a 380 HP monstrosity as well. So a basic Pokemon with that amount of hit points and having access to Penny feels like a very strong strategy. Also, with the Team Rocket's Watchtower, you also are shutting down a specific colorless Pokemon. For example, you shut down stuff like Blood Moon, shut down Noctiles, more in particular, Pidgeot EX. So there's a lot of colorless Pokemon that are like definitely busted that you shut down because of that powerful stadium. Then we have the last one, 16th place, Douglas Castro Santos Borges from Brazil with Mega Absol Box. This Mega Absol Box also coming packed with the technology to beat Gholdengo. We have Crustle, we have Rigid Band, and a bunch of Grass Energies. No OLED item card in here to heal. But it's still coming back with like all the answers necessary to beat almost anything in the entire game. So yeah, Mega Absol Box also performed quite well. If I take a look at that top 16, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Mega Absol boxes having the highest conversion rate, and then we have 4 copies of Gardevoir, and they all were playing Jellicent EX. Gholdengo also playing 4 copies of 4 of them in the top 16, all having answers to Cornerstone. Some having access to like Erika's Invitation. We saw Lana's 8. There was a little bit of playing around with Mega Lucario. So everyone was prepared. And then we also see 1 copy of Grimmsnarl, 1 copy of Dracopult EX, and 1 copy of the Enz Zoroark. What does that mean? Is that Charizard nowhere to be seen. No top 16 placement for Charizard. I think the highest placing Zard, if I have to scroll down and break my entire hand, it is actually Riley Malik with Charizard Pidgeot, 75 place. So yeah, what does that mean for Charizard? Does that I don't know, was it not well positioned? The drop percentage from 7.5 all the way to like 4% already indicates that. Turbo Guardy, let's see where the Turbo Guardy was like 17 plays, and then most of them were Jelly Guardy. So but and if brand new meta with Phantasmal Flames, I do predict that the Turbo Guardy Jellicent, that Turbo Guardy will most likely overperform the Jellicent version because it's an entire brand new meta. Also, what happened to Dracopult? There's one there, and then we have to scroll down to like top 32 to find another one. So not too crazy. Are there any surprises? Raging Bolt, nowhere to be seen in top 16. Also, Marius Grimmsnarl, only 1 copy. No Charizard, no Joltik Box, no Flareons, no Cerulages, and 1 Enz Reshiram. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video of the meta-analysis of LAIC, the Latin American Internationals. This weekend, it's Stuttgart Regionals. I'll be attending that event, and I still don't know what to play, so it's gonna be quite exciting. If you are going to that event, come and say hi. It's gonna be fantastic. We're gonna have a great time, and I'll see you guys there. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And as always, if you are enjoying the daily content, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. Helps out in many ways to support the channel. I will be forever grateful if you would take the time to do so. And also take a look at the sponsors. Are you looking for sleeves, binders, or deck boxes? You can get 5% off over at dragonshield.com using the coupon ZAPDOS5. They are the best in TCG accessories, and they have the best sleeves around. BowtownStore.com for your TCG Live code card needs, 5% off. They have Phantasmal Flames up on stock. Those codes, you can get them with instant email delivery. And there's also cardmarket.com for European players, where you're able to buy as well as sell cards to people all across Europe. Use that referral name, ZAPDOSTCG, to help support the channel. Have yourself a very fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you guys tomorrow for more Pokemon TCG epicness. Peace!